in our panel tonight. Niall Stanage, White House columnist with our partner, thehill.com. We have DNC Finance Committee member Lindy Li back as well. Good to see you both. Lindy, let's start with you here. The president-elect saying that he plans to end birthright citizenship in this new interview. It is included in the 14th Amendment. Your reaction, your response?
Thank you for having me. This is what he promised. And because I think there's a lot of frustration amongst American voters across the spectrum, Democrat and Republican, that we have millions of people pouring into this country. And then all of a sudden, they have access to a lot of resources. I know I probably sound like a conservative, but you see that 52% of Asian Americans shifted to Trump in Nevada in this past election. A lot of it is stemming from this angst that all of us waited so long to come to this country, myself included. I am an immigrant. I am a naturalized immigrant. My family and I waited for years in England. We applied. We brought useful skills. We came with $200. We didn't jump in line. We went through the process and followed all the rules. So I think there's a lot of frustration amongst Americans that a lot of people are jumping the line.
Okay, I appreciate that perspective. Niall Stanage, I want to turn over to you here because we are seeing this first big TV interview since winning the election. What are the major headlines, the major takeaways that you are monitoring and you're hearing buzz about in Washington today?
I think the suggestion that he would offer clemency to people convicted of January the 6th offences is a very big part of this story, and I think that will appall many people on the left or the Trump critical side of the equation, and some conservatives as well who were horrified by what happened on that day. In relation to birthright citizenship, I take Lindy's point that even immigrant communities do not see that topic one-dimensionally. The caveat I would offer is birthright citizenship does appear to be enshrined in the US Constitution. There was talk of Trump doing that in his first term, and lawyers advised him that it would ultimately be struck down. So those are two of many headline-making comments.
Yeah, and Niall, staying with you, Trump today also talking about his tariff plan again, offering no assurances, though, that this won't impact consumers. Let's take a quick listen.
Can you guarantee American families won't pay more?
I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow. I'm a big believer in tariffs. I think tariffs are the most beautiful word. I think they're beautiful. It's going to make us rich. We're subsidizing Canada to the tune of over $100 billion a year. We're subsidizing Mexico for almost $300 billion. We shouldn't be subsidizing. Why are we subsidizing these countries? If we're going to subsidize them, let them become a state.
Yeah, given how much the economy clearly weighed on voters' minds during this election, is this the make or break policy for Trump the second time around, likely?
I think it's very high risk. It's quite a trapeze act that he's doing there, because on one hand, he was elected and people knew what he was proposing when he was in the campaign. On the other hand, economists of pretty much across the spectrum worry that tariffs would increase costs to consumers. Remember, Natasha, as you alluded to in your question, we're just coming out of an election where inflation was still a very, very important topic to voters, even though it has declined from what we saw in the early years of the Biden presidency. So, look, maybe Trump's idea of it as a sort of a bargaining chip might work, but I think if it starts to tick up prices, I would imagine there'll be significant popular blowback to that.
Yeah, Lindy, I want to get your perspective here. Trump will have a GOP Senate and House as president. In some ways, does that even put more pressure on him to make headwinds with the economy?
Oh, absolutely. And we've done this before. We've seen how this movie plays out. We had tit-for-tat protectionist policies in the 1930s, and it contributed to the Great Depression, also to World War II. So, facts don't care about your feelings. In this case, tariffs is just a bad situation all around. And this is not just a partisan talking point. This is something that Republicans or Democrats are warning against. But both of them we are fervently hoping that this is simply a negotiating tactic. And we do agree. I certainly do agree that the flow of fentanyl and migrants across the border is an issue. And part of the reason why Democrats lost is because we pretended for years that migrants weren't an issue, but it's very much an issue. So yes, something needs to be done on those twin issues, but I don't think that tariffs is the answer. Inflation is already, it's come down, yes, but it's still in a tenuous position. The last thing we need is a spike.
Lindy Li and Niall Stanage, appreciate both of you. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.